Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing Double Indemnity. Double Indemnity came out in 1944 and it's directed by Billy Wilder and it stars Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck and Edward G. Robinson. And this is a film noir from the 1940s and Fred MacMurray plays an insurance salesman called Walter Neff. Barbara Stanwyck plays a character called Phyllis Dietrichson. And these two characters, they come into contact with each other. So Phyllis is the wife of one of Walter Neff's clients. And it turns out that Phyllis doesn't have a very good relationship with her husband. And she ends up telling Walter that she wants to kill her husband or that she's been thinking about killing her husband. So then the two characters, Walter and Phyllis, they end up getting the husband to sign this insurance clause or this double indemnity clause, which means that an amount of double the usual amount is paid out if an accident ends up in someone dying, which is where the title double indemnity comes from. So these two characters, that Walter and Phyllis, they end up like having a bit of an affair and they want to kill the husband and get some money from it. So they set up this situation where the husband is apparently supposed to have died in a train accident, which means that Walter's insurance company will end up paying out about $100,000 or a lot of money because of the husband dying. So this is a very clever film. I really like the plot of this film. The way it's all set out is all very intelligent. And I also really like Edward G. Robinson's character in this film. So Edward G. Robinson, he plays a character called Barton Keyes, who is sort of Walter's boss and works with him at the insurance company. And he's overseeing a lot of what is going on with the case involving the husband's death caused by Phyllis and Walter. And although he doesn't know what happens exactly, we see him try and work things out as the story progresses along. And Edward G. Robinson, he really plays this character very well, Keyes, because Keyes has a relationship with Walter in this film where they get along very well, and Keyes is very intuitive. He knows when something is not going wrong, because obviously working at an insurance company, they have cases where not everything is as it seems, and Keyes is someone who can work out when things aren't necessarily going the right way. And Edward G. Robinson, he's previously been used to playing gangster type characters, especially in films like Little Caesar. And in this film, he really plays a more light-hearted, almost comical sort of character. And he has lots of scenes where there's lots of funny dialogue and he tends to ramble on a bit, which is quite a contrast to Fred MacMurray's character, Walter. So this is the first time I had actually ever seen this film and I was very impressed with it. I really enjoyed it very much. I really like the way the characters interact with each other. Some of the dialogue is very clever, very cleverly written, and the way the film is shot, it's typical 1940s film noir. And a lot of people have said that this is the quintessential film noir. It's almost the most iconic film noir. So obviously the film noir period is generally from 1940 up to the mid 1950s. So this is bang in the centre of it, and it really makes its mark on the film noir genre. In terms of the downsides of this film, there really aren't many, to be honest. I suppose perhaps in some sequences it might drag on a little bit, but I didn't really see that at all. In fact, I didn't look at the clock once during this film. I really enjoyed it. I was very much hooked all the way through, and I enjoyed it very much. I always wanted to know where the story was going and how things were going to pan out. One thing I should mention is that the first scene in this film, we see Walter stumble into the office and he's on the dictaphone and he's saying a message of what has happened, about how he has killed a woman and how he wanted to get some money, but he couldn't get the money and he couldn't get the woman in the end. Now this scene actually takes place right at the end of the film. So the first scene is at the end of the film where he's talking about everything what has happened before. So he's narrating the main story and everything that happens in the film leads up to this scene at the start. So I'm not actually spoiling it by saying that he killed a woman and he wanted some money, because that happens right at the start of the film. And when we're watching the film, we already know what happens at the end. We're just wanting to see how it happened and what exactly led to these events happening. And we want to know what kind of a character Walter Neff is. Is he someone who we can sympathise with, or is he an evil person who is someone who we're not supposed to like? And the film is a lot more complicated than that, because Phyllis as a character is very manipulative and not all she seems at first. But then we also get Walter's character, who at the start seems like quite a nice guy, but at the same time seems quite a weak man who is easily led by his desire for women. And it seems that he doesn't have complete control over himself during this film, and that he's very easily led. So at one point we see him say no, he's not going to do something, and then he seems to change his mind very quickly because of what Phyllis has said. Wrapping up, I would say I really recommend this film for everyone. I think everybody should give it a try. It's quite a dark film, especially for its time. It came out in 1944. Obviously, there are certain things that happen in this film which are quite dark, but the film, it doesn't show exactly these dark moments because of the production code at the time. They weren't really allowed to show very much. So in terms of the evil and the dark stuff that actually happens in this film, it's not explicitly shown on the camera, so you don't really need to worry about that. But the intent is very clear, and it's very clear to us as the audience what is happening in the film, even if it isn't explicitly shown, which is very good. This film does this very well. We know exactly what is going on, but it doesn't have to spell it out for us. And another thing I have to mention is that the ending scene is very good, but there actually was going to originally be another ending scene. So the film was going to originally go on for a little bit longer. I won't say what the other ending was because it sort of spoils it a bit, but when I found out about it, I was quite glad that they didn't include the ending scene, because it doesn't really add very much to the film. I thought the way the film wrapped up was just about perfect, and it all worked out very well in the end. So I was very impressed with this film, and I was thinking about what rating I was going to give it. I was going to give it a 9 out of 10, but I was so impressed with it. I am actually going to give it a rating of 10 out of 10 because I think it's absolutely fantastic, and definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. So there is Double Indemnity. So have you guys seen it? What do you think? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.